Hi, and welcome to this special Hurricane Matthew weather edition. We're having a webcast here to talk about all things you need to know to stay prepared during the storm. I have breaking news reporter Stephanie Allen talking about the updates, what you need to know. I have social media reporter Jessica Gillespie here answering your questions live on air. And I have Lauren Delgado, food reporter, talking about what you need to know about your fridge, what to buy at the store, and anything food related. So let's get started. We just had an update earlier this morning. What's the latest path?
Yeah, so it looks like Hurricane Matthew is coming really, really close to the Florida coast, and he's going to come probably Thursday night into Friday morning.
Okay.
So overnight hours. The latest track, he's down to 115 mile per hour winds, so a little bit lower. He's down to a Category 3 storm.
Cat 3, okay.
He was a Category 4, and they're expecting him to strengthen again to a Category 4 before reaching the coastline.
Okay. Is it past Haiti now? Because I know yesterday that's when it was really hitting them.
Yep, made landfall in Haiti at 7 a.m. yesterday, and then in Cuba about 8 p.m. So now it's moving into the Bahamas, and it's going to come up, and it just made a turn at 8 a.m. They announced that it's now turning north-northwest, so it's starting to come around toward Florida.
Okay.
So definitely not good news for us. It looks like it's heading right to that coastline, and right now the track has it about 30 miles off the coast.
Okay. Any counties really going to get hit potentially are going to have it worse than others?
Yeah, so it looks like the coast is going to see the brunt of this storm.
So Brevard,
Volusia, Flagler, down south. There's a hurricane warning in effect right now from the Miami area up to include Indian River County. There's a watch in effect for Orange, Osceola, Seminole, Brevard, Volusia, and those are likely to be upgraded to a warning later today, forecasters are saying.
Okay.
Lake County is under a tropical storm watch that could also be upgraded to a warning.
So those at home that might not know, what's the difference between a watch and a warning?
Yeah, so a watch and a warning, they issue a watch when those conditions are possible within 48 hours.
Okay.
And a warning says that they're possible within 36 to 24 hours. So very quickly, you need to be preparing.
Okay. Any evacuation zones right now? Anyone mandatory evacuations?
Yep. So Brevard County, the barrier islands, including Merritt Island, are being evacuated starting at 3 p.m. today. Shelters will open at 4 p.m. We're supposed to be getting a list of the shelters around noon or so. Hopefully they'll release those, so then we'll know where people can go. But everyone does have to be out of the barrier islands in Brevard County by starting at 3 p.m. So.
Okay. Now, do we expect a heavy traffic flow coming from that area right now or soon?
So Governor Rick Scott this morning at a news conference urged people to get out early and don't wait. You know you're in that evacuation zone. Start going right now because there's going to be heavy traffic on the bridges, going over those causeways. It's going to be backed up. There's no way around it. Okay. So definitely try and go as early as you can.
Okay, so speaking of the coast, we have a question from Sarah Reyes. She's asking, is Titusville expected to be evacuated? But you just answered that, so yes, it will, most likely.
Well, we don't know. We don't know for sure what's going to happen. Governor Scott has been meeting with all of the county emergency managers, and they're looking at the storm and the forecast, and we're still not exactly sure where it's going to go, and we can't rule out a direct hit to the coastline. So if it hits the coast in Brevard County, that could be catastrophic. It could be devastating to that area. We just don't know for sure where it's going to go. So they're definitely looking, but that's where it's very important for everyone who lives over in those coastal counties to really pay attention what's going on, where this track is going, what's happening, and if an evacuation is ordered, to get out as soon as possible.
Okay, now before we talk about any preparations, let's check in with Jessica. Do we have any questions that have come in?
We have had a few questions about schools in the area if they're closing.
That's a good question, so you're kind of on top of that.
Right now, all we know about for sure is Volusia County schools and Brevard County schools are closed for classes on Thursday and Friday.
Okay.
We are waiting to hear about Orange County, Seminole County, Lake, Osceola, and the other area county school districts.
So as of now, Orange, Seminole, Lake, Osceola are all on right now, as of now, for Thursday and Friday, but Volusia and Brevard are closed Thursday and Friday.
Right.
Okay.
So I know that Orange County Public Schools tweeted earlier. If you are interested in following them, I believe they're at OCPS.net, and they said that they are going to be monitoring things and will come back around noon today once
make
they
a
have
decision.
to make those decisions.
Okay, and I'm sure we'll have that on our website. And just so you guys know, all of our digital coverage of Hurricane Matthew will be free on our website, orlandosentinel.com. So if you want to go check out anything about Hurricane Matthew, it'll be free on our website. So let's go back to Stephanie. So Sandbags, people are preparing. How can they do that?
Yeah, so almost every county has sandbags available to people right now. Everything is listed on our website. You can go to orlandosentinel.com/hurricane guide. It's all up there. There's a story that lists all of them, the times, the locations, everything. Most municipalities have 10 to 30 bags that you can get and you can stock up on, and people have been taking advantage of that, especially in Brevard County. I know yesterday the sheriff's office said that they have long lines waiting for people to get these bags, and definitely something that forecasters say you should take advantage of because we are expecting lots of rain. So
if you're in sandbags quickly,
if you're in one of those areas, you definitely want to take advantage of that.
Okay.
And Orlando just said today that they are giving out sandbags too, so that's good for residents.
And these are all
here.
free.
Yep, all free. Some places you have to bring a shovel. Some places they'll do it for you, and they'll put it right in your car for you.
Okay.
Sometimes you have to shovel it yourself. So it just depends. And then some locations, like in Orlando, you do have to show your ID showing that you're a resident. So all that's online, though. If you can check it out, orlandosentinel.com/hurricane guide.
Okay, and once again, that is totally free on our website. So let's talk about more preparations with Lauren. So if you've been to Publix or Walmart, any of those close, nearby, you've probably seen some water aisles a little bit empty. So what should people get?
Well, definitely water is key. You need 1 gallon of water per person per day.
Okay.
And don't forget, your water from your tap is safe now. It's when the power goes out that it's a little bit more dicey, and that you should wait before drinking anything from the tap.
Okay.
But for now, I started doing this yesterday because I tried to get water at my local grocery store and they were out. I started filling freezer bags of water and sticking it in the freezer so I can kind of pull it out as we go along throughout the storm if we lose power, and kind of melt it down in a pitcher that I have. Also food, you need enough supplies of food for at least 3 days for everyone in your family. This includes pets. So don't forget to get
3
enough
days
water.
per person, including pets.
Including
Okay.
pets. And it's 3 to 7 days, but at least a minimum of 3. And that, I would get non-perishable items, your canned goods, of course, and then also supplement it with some more perishable stuff. Fruits and veggies that you can leave out, that's safe to leave out. Definitely clean it beforehand, wash all your fruits and stuff while you still have good tap water so you don't have to use any of your supply.
Okay.
And then, I always think comfort food. So get those cookies, get those snack
out
food.
there. You might want a chocolate chip cookie to
exactly.
kind of nosh on.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
For sure.
Interesting. So now with the bathtub, so is that a myth that you should fill your bathtub up before a hurricane? We used to do that when I was a kid.
Yeah, you know what? And a lot of different hurricane guides say, fill it up. Definitely be careful if you have little children in the house that they're not getting near that bathroom or bathtub, and pets as well. I don't know that I would drink water from the bathtub, but I would definitely use it, to wash myself, to wash any dishes or anything like that. Use your best judgment and clean that bathtub before you fill it up with water and use it.
As a food expert, do you know any restaurants or stores that are closing as of now? Any shutdowns?
I haven't seen anything yet. I'm sure there are some out there, and definitely keep an eye on it. And as always, just make sure you have enough food. Don't rely on anybody else to bring you food. Make sure you have enough food and supplies for a couple days, just in case.
So at least 3 days per person in your house, including pets. Don't forget your pets because they need to eat as well and drink water.
And kitty litter too. If you have cats, don't forget
I
that
have a
kitty
cat,
litter.
So we have to make sure I gotta add that to the list. Very
do
good.
it.
Now, other than food, we have gas generators, flashlights. What else do people need to get?
Yeah, so I was talking with forecasters today, and they're out, the National Weather Service in Melbourne, they're obviously in Brevard County, and they were saying that they're already seeing gas stations running out of gas out there.
Uh-oh.
Gas stations running out of gas, they're seeing the store shelves run out of bread and things like that, so that's something you want to jump on fast. But flashlights, extra batteries for your flashlights, it's not going to work if it doesn't have batteries. You want a tool kit, you want a first aid kit. If you get cut or something, you got to have those Band-Aids. You don't want to be stuck without anything.
Yeah.
You don't know what
Medical help.
what it's going to look like. You want some duct tape, things like that, things that you can fix things with if you need to. Plastic bags, paper towels. You want paper plates, things like that is a little easier to work with instead of having to wash dishes and stuff.
How important is cash to have on hand?
So definitely, that was one thing that officials were saying this morning is it might be a good idea to take out some cash because if you need it, those ATMs might be down if there's power outages and stuff. So definitely that's something you should probably get on hand today and just have just in case.
Okay. And also today, maybe charge your phones, charge your electronics.
Definitely charge your phones. Have those little portable battery charger things. Maybe grab one of those. It's not going to hurt to have it. They're not super expensive. Make sure everything's charged. I like to charge my laptop and have that fully charged just in case I need to plug in my phone to that and charge it from that a little bit real fast. That's one thing I like to do.
Maybe get those car chargers so in case of an emergency, you can go into your car and charge
and make
something.
sure your car has gas. I know Governor Scott this morning said that they haven't heard of a fuel shortage across the state, but they have heard of some stations running out of gas, and they're working on getting gas to those places so that everyone will have something.
Okay. Now we have a question from Raphael CB. He's asking what to expect on a third-floor apartment in Orlando. Do you have an answer for that?
Yeah, so I actually live on a third-floor apartment too.
Okay.
Never been through a hurricane though, so I don't know what it's going to look like. But definitely you should check with your apartment complex. See if they have a plan, if they're recommending you do anything. I know some complexes have already sent out little notes to people and recommending that they do this or do that.
Clear your patio,
Clear your patio. Yeah, definitely take in any loose furniture you have, any type of potted plants, hanging plants, wind chimes, anything like that that could become a projectile and get swept up in the wind and blown into a window or something awful. So definitely secure that kind of stuff. And I mean, it's best in any storm to stay away from windows. So
now I'm on the second floor, but we have a key card system, so I'm a little afraid that might shut off if the electricity goes off. So I need to check with that. So in case you guys have the fob keys,
maybe
maybe
your complex has a generator that will come on. You don't know.
I hope so.
Definitely check with them and see.
Okay, that's a good question. Any more that you have that you want to answer?
Yes, we've got a handful of questions.
Great.
The first one I want to touch on is from Anne on Facebook, and she wants to know about the Come Out with Pride festival this weekend.
Okay.
So according to our story yesterday, and I don't think we've heard anything since then, it's still planned for Saturday afternoon in downtown Orlando. They say they are monitoring the situation closely. In the event of any changes, they will provide updated information on their website and their social media channels. So if you are in town or looking forward to the Come Out with Pride Festival in downtown Orlando on Saturday, definitely just follow the festival on social media to get the latest on that. And when we hear about it, we'll also update our website with that information and a story specific to it. Some people also have questions on theme parks. So I haven't heard about any theme park closures that are planned.
Okay.
Our story, though, we have a story online from Sandra Pedicini, who is our theme parks reporter. She's an expert. Says that the hurricanes rarely shut down the big theme parks, but there's policies in place. So if you are interested in more information on the theme parks, you can check OrlandoSentinel.com. There's a whole bunch of information about the big ones here in Orlando, Disney, SeaWorld, Universal, and how they will deal with any hurricane, if they need to shut down or anything.
Good to know. So if you're in town for the theme parks, make sure you check our website for the latest updates. As of now, nothing is closed, but that can change, as you know, in an instant. Let's also talk about some things that were canceled. So the Garth Brooks concert was supposed to be tomorrow night, has been rescheduled.
Yes, so there's 4 Garth Brooks concerts scheduled starting tomorrow.
Okay.
The one for Thursday's been postponed. It's going to be on Saturday or Sunday afternoon. So if you have tickets for Thursday night's show, they now work. I think it's at 3 p.m. on Sunday is when those tickets are good for. He's going to have a show then.
Okay.
The rest of his concerts, he's got one Friday night, Saturday night, and then the 2 on Sunday. They're still set as scheduled. As soon as, if any of that information changes, Garth Brooks, Amway Center, they'll all announce the changes. We'll update our stories on OrlandoSentinel.com and have updated information on our social media channels as well if they need to move the Friday concert.
Great. And our viewers in Winter Park that might be wanting to attend the art festival, do we have any info on that yet?
I don't think I've seen anything about that. The Winter Park Autumn Art Festival is still scheduled. They're monitoring the weather, and they'll keep us informed. They're working with local officials to decide if that's still something that should continue on as planned. So if there's any big damage in the area, just keep an eye out. If you're planning on going, before you leave, just make sure it's still happening.
Okay, great. Let's move to safety. I want to talk to you again about food in your fridge. So we know if the power goes out, your food can spoil. Some of the big items, what can we have and keep, and what should we get rid of after a certain amount of time?
Well, definitely I recommend getting an appliance thermometer so you can monitor how cold your freezer and your fridge is.
Okay.
And monitor it beforehand as well. Make sure it's at the proper temperatures. Your fridge, you want it to be 40 degrees. Your freezer, you want it to be 0 degrees.
Okay.
Anything in your freezer, hold on one second, I have notes here. So the fridge will keep food safely cold for about 4 hours if it's unopened. So try and
4
have
hours, okay.
some unperishable or non-perishable foods outside of your fridge and munch on that if you're going through a power outage.
So milk and that sort of thing, 4 hours.
4
about,
hours.
Then you better get rid of it.
Pretty
Okay,
much.
good
And
to
then
know.
a full freezer will hold its temperature for about 48 hours, 24 hours if it's half full and the door remains closed.
Okay.
Food can be safely refrozen if it still has ice crystals on it or if it's still at 40 degrees.
Okay.
Never ever taste food to see if it's spoiled or not. Use your best judgment. If it looks funny, smells funny, or you're just not sure, just throw it out.
Don't take a chance.
Don't take a chance. There's no reason to have stomach issues on top of a hurricane.
Yeah.
That's no good.
Should people be turning their fridges down just in case, or should you keep it at the temperature it's at right now?
I personally have turned my fridge down a little bit, made it a little bit extra
in
cold,
case.
just in case. There's no, I don't know that there's any real reason why you shouldn't. So yeah, go for it.
Okay, great.
For sure.
Good to know. Jessica, I'm going to go back to you. Do you have any more questions about food or anything specific that we can ask?
Yes, I've got a couple more.
Okay.
So Lori on Facebook is saying she's in Osceola County and just found out that school was canceled for Thursday and Friday.
Okay.
I just did a quick check. Nobody that we work with has confirmed this so far.
Okay.
Or we don't have that in a story on our website. And Osceola hasn't put that on their school district website or their social media accounts yet, but we'll monitor that and let you know as soon as possible once we confirm if they have closed that or not.
Okay, so once again, the official word is Volusia County and Brevard County are closed at schools Thursday and Friday. Every other county in the area is open as of now.
We're just waiting to hear.
Orange County will be coming to us about noon to give us an answer, most likely. Anyone else, we haven't heard from them at all.
Right, we're just
Okay.
waiting to hear on anybody else. And we've also had a few other questions. Lauren, you might be better to answer this. Is well water safe if the power is out and we have a generator? And I think they mean, is that safe to drink?
That is an interesting question. I'm not 100% sure. I would.
Who's the
I
best
need
person
to
to
get back.
ask? So would you have to go to the city's website,
I would,
perhaps,
yeah,
and
I would
find
definitely.
out?
I would definitely just monitor. City websites. Talk to your officials or whoever you usually go to about your water issues
Okay.
and talk to them.
Better
about it.
safe than sorry, I would assume. Just
Yeah.
to keep the bottled water close at hand and, not to worry about the well water if at all possible.
I lived in South Florida in 2004 and 2005 when all of those hurricanes came through, and our house had a well, and I know that we weren't drinking well water. We were drinking from bottles and other things. So if you're concerned about the well water, maybe just make sure you have some water on hand, whether it's frozen or it's in bottles. And if you're wary about the well water, if the power is out, I would, not my expert opinion, but I would stay clear of it. Just as somebody who has lived with a well, you just want to be careful
Sure.
unless you learn otherwise.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah,
I would agree.
And touching on the generators too, that's one thing that has been flying off the shelves lately, and a lot of first-time generators users might not know exactly what to do.
Because they can be dangerous.
They can
if
be
you keep
very
them inside.
dangerous.
Mhm.
Yes, so definitely when using generators, you want to make sure that you, first of all, don't use it in your house. Don't put it in your garage. You want it outdoors, at least 3 to 4 feet away from a building, and you want it clear on all sides so that it can properly ventilate. Because that carbon monoxide gas can be deadly, and it's odorless and colorless. You don't even know that it's coming in. So keep it away from doors, windows. If it's outside but it's leaking into a window, obviously that's not good. You want to avoid that as much as possible too. And then when you're refueling it, it gets really hot. So be careful with that. Don't store the fuels in your house.
Yeah.
You don't want that gas can in your house leaking fumes in there too. So be careful with that. And then obviously read the instructions book, because there's a lot of different things. I know we had a power outage when I was a kid, and my dad messed some things up and ended up frying everything in our house. And then your TV's smoking. And so that's obviously not what you want to do on top of a hurricane.
Yeah.
So definitely.
How long can most generators last in a house or power
It
a home?
completely depends
The
on what kind you
brand
get. If there's a portable one, I know one of my friends has one that's built into his house, so his lasts a whole week.
Wow,
So,
okay.
Yeah, so there's definitely a range, and I've seen lots of reports and things on social media about those flying off the shelf, so if you want one, you should probably start looking.
Go get it now.
Yeah.
And did you say where people can buy those?
You can get those at any of your hardware stores.
Home Depot, Lowe's,
yeah,
that
those
sort
types of
thing.
places.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure Walmart has some too. I don't know if they have any left, but that's a place that I would definitely check.
And if you plug that in, that'll also help your fridge and your freezer last a little bit longer, so you don't have to wait those 4 hours to throw away everything.
Definitely. And those safety tips, those also actually go with grills as well. You want them not in your home, far away from your home, a couple feet. Never use a grill inside the house because, again, with the carbon monoxide. And if you have a charcoal grill, make sure those briquettes and whatever you use to light it are completely cool when you're done using them. I would, if you have some extra water, I would dump a little extra water on there just to be safe. You know?
Okay. What is an alternative? So if you wanted to cook something, what are those little cans? I don't know the name.
Goodness.
What's it called? The little
Sternum. There we go. Thank you,
cans.
guys.
So do you suggest people getting those to cook?
You certainly can. Again, I'm very scared to use anything with fire during the actual storm because it's so, if something goes wrong, it's difficult for public safety to get to you and to help you out. But after the storm, yeah, go for it. Use the Sterno cans. Just, again, with kids, small pets, make sure that, it's far enough away from them and your home.
Can you cook anything with those, or there's a certain amount of things you can make with those?
I've made hot dogs over the Sterno cans,
Okay.
During a storm.
Okay, so kind of camping style
Yeah,
is what you
exactly.
should plan for. Okay, and speaking of camping, I mean, when you're sitting, I've been through hurricanes in South Florida back, in 2005, you get bored. So you're going to want to have some board games and maybe some portable Game Boys, that's what I played back in the day, that are battery powered because you're going to possibly be inside for a long, long time. So I know we were talking about very safety items, but you also are going to, you're human, so you're going to want some things to play with, maybe some playing cards.
Some books, maybe.
Some books, yeah, you get your flashlight, read a book, magazine, get the Orlando Sentinel, print edition, get all your latest information.
Yeah, puzzles, games, anything like that to keep your kids busy because especially now in Brevard and Volusia, they're out of school. You're going to want to keep them busy because they're going to be sitting there and you're going to be doing things and they're going to be bored because they're kids and they can't play their video games when the power's out.
Yep.
So
assign them some homework on your own. You want to keep everyone busy in the house. All right, let's go back to you for some questions, Jessica. We'll make sure we get through most of them, if not all.
We had a sandbag question on Orange County. They wanted to know if they can get sandbags, they need to bring a shovel. We have a list of sandbag pickup places where you can go to get them with information on our website. I just posted it as a link underneath our live video, so you can click that and get all of the information because the sandbags are available everywhere. I do not see a note about a shovel for Orange County if you have to bring your own, but some of these counties or cities do require that you bring a shovel, so just check ahead of time. You might not need it. So that was, some of these places are closing, like City of Orlando has sandbags available until 2 p.m. today. So
Until
also
2.
just check this list to make sure that you get there in time for sandbags.
Okay, and that's located on our homepage. You can click right to it and get all the information.
And it's a link right below this Facebook Live video if you're watching from Facebook.
Great, so click right below this video. You can get all that information right there. So let's talk about what we can expect with Hurricane Matthew. When's the latest update coming?
So there's another update coming at 11, so very shortly here.
Okay.
And we can expect to see if it's strengthened, if it's weakened, what it's doing to the Bahamas. And hopefully we'll know as time goes on a little bit more about what we can expect. We're still not exactly sure where exactly it's going to go, if it's going to snake the coast, if it's going to directly hit us. And forecasters this morning are saying that you cannot rule out a direct hit. And that's
what the governor said yesterday.
He said it again this morning, and he's urging people to really, really take this seriously and prepare because this could be absolutely devastating. And they're expecting it to strengthen to at least 130 mile per hour winds by the time it reaches Florida's coast again. So that's huge.
And this has been a storm of surprises because we thought it was going east, it kind of veered back, it was supposed to, slow down, actually quicken, so it's kind of unpredictable.
It's definitely changing a lot. Its strength's changing a lot. There were a lot of things that people thought it was going to tear apart, and it survived a lot of wind shear, and it survived Cuba's mountains, and so it's definitely a fighting storm, and it's here to stay. So this is one that we definitely need to pay attention to. And even inland too, because I know a lot of people think, well, it's offshore, it's not going to hit
If you're
us.
on the beach community, you don't have to worry about it, but that's not necessarily true.
I mean, the last update I saw, the tropical storm force winds were extending 185 miles out from the storm center. So that's huge. That's a lot, and that's going to reach all the way into like the Orlando metro area. So definitely something that you want to pay attention to.
That means power lines are affected potentially. Trees might be down. I mean, I know in 2005 when we had all those hurricanes, there were trees just down everywhere. So that is potentially possible here. If it rains a lot, the roots get saturated and they might start falling. So we don't know. We're not ruling anything out. That's what everyone keeps saying. Prepare, 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 just in case, because it could be rather be less than more.
Yeah, absolutely. And the power crews are out there. They've said, I've talked to several, and they say that they're ready, and they're getting extra crews ready, and they're prepared, and they're aware of what's going on essentially. But there's only so much they can do. If there's trees in the road or pulling down power lines, it's going to take a while to get those back up. So that's something you need to plan for.
Now let's talk about that too. After the storm, sometimes power lines will fall down and there's standing water. How important is that? Do not touch those, because
do not approach a power line, and don't go wading through the floodwaters either. If it's flooded in your area, don't go in there. You don't know what's in there.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Don't approach down power lines. You don't know if it's on. Let the crews handle that. They're professionals for a reason. And then one thing that Governor Scott really talked about this morning is people in those evacuation zones. If you stay and you're in need of help, those first responders can't get to you. So if you're in an evacuation zone, get out, because if you need help in the middle of the storm, they're not going to be able to get to you. And we really don't want anyone to get hurt in this.
So if you have pets, don't stay with your pets. There are shelters that you can bring with you.
Grab your pets and go.
And that information's on our website, which shelters accept pets and which don't.
Yeah, we don't have a list of open shelters yet. We're hoping to get that for Brevard County soon.
Okay.
As of right now, no other evacuations have been ordered. So Brevard is the Barrier Islands is all we have to worry about right now, but definitely pay attention, because if it shifts any closer, there could be more evacuations.
Do we know if hotels right now are getting booked up? Have we reached out to any of those yet?
I don't know about that. I don't know if anyone else has heard.
I haven't seen anything from our tourism reporters yet on Twitter.
Okay.
We have gotten some flight questions from people on Facebook.
Okay, that's a good question.
All I really can tell you, Caitlin Deneen is our tourism reporter, and she is tweeting at Caitlin Deneen right now and says that if you're flying from Sanford or Orlando International over the next few days, to check your flight with the airline. The airport might still be open, but your flight could be canceled or delayed.
Okay.
So just check with your airline. Whoever you're flying with is the best thing to do in that situation for travel. But that's all we know on that.
Okay.
On that topic
and as
right
of now,
now,
airports are open.
Yes.
As usual. What about buses? Lynx, is that open as of usual right now? Do we know that?
I have not heard anything different. No.
Okay. So as of now, all public transportation in Orlando and the surrounding areas are as normal, but that can always change. Just check our website for the latest updates, of course. Interesting. What about cruises? Any information on cruises? Do you know? Anybody?
I know there's definitely been some cruises that have been rerouted.
Okay.
I know a lot of people who they're starting, even yesterday, there was a Disney cruise who got rerouted, and the port has actually ordered all cruise ships, cargo ships, fishing boats, everything out of the port.
Okay.
So they can't even stay there right now.
Wow.
So that's definitely something, because it's just too dangerous for them to dock there. So they're evacuating all the ships and all the businesses right there. So
Okay. So check with your cruise
definitely check with that
website or call them, see if you're taking a cruise out of Port Canaveral, because they're not going to be there.
Yeah.
Okay. Any more questions, Jessica, before we wrap it up here?
Some of our viewers right now want to know if they should board up their windows in Orlando. I don't, I think that might be up to you, and maybe check with your neighbors if they've been here for a hurricane before and you haven't. Check with them, see what they recommend. If you are more coastal, I would say definitely board up if you can, and you also, especially if you're on those barrier islands, you need to be evacuating soon. So hopefully your house is safe, but you have to worry about yourself first in this situation.
So get out first if you can, and then worry about your house second. If you have time to do it, go for it. So
Right.
when is the evacuation time again? When do you have to be gone?
It starts at 3 p.m. So
Starts
starting
at
at
3.
3 p.m., you need to start evacuating. Shelters open at 4 in Brevard County, and we are hoping to have a list of where people can go, and specific pet-friendly ones, special need-friendly ones, elderly-friendly ones, etc. We're supposed to get that list maybe around noon or so we will have that up on the website when that happens.
Okay, great. Let's just recap one more time about the storm. When can we expect the biggest hit potentially as of now?
So it looks like we're going to start feeling the winds tomorrow into
Okay.
the afternoon. We're going to look at some stronger winds into the evening, overnight hours, and then Friday morning. So, and it's
Okay.
going to be windy probably all day Friday is what forecasters are saying.
Okay, so Friday's going to be the
overnight
brunt of
is
it,
when you
perhaps.
need to, yeah.
Okay, so tomorrow we're going to start feeling some of that forces around here, the rain, the wind. Thank you guys so much for joining us here and answering questions. We really appreciate it. I think we learned a lot here. And if you're still looking for more information, we have Orlando News Now coming up at noon. We're going to have an update. We do that with Fox 35, so we'll have our meteorologist over there updating you on all the information and what you need to do. We will probably be here again either tomorrow or later today with more information as we get that. At 11 o'clock, the National Hurricane Center is going to be releasing their latest update. So make sure you go to OrlandoSentinel.com for all of that. And like I said, it's completely free. Anything related to Hurricane Matthew is free on our digital entities. So make sure you go, check it out. I'm Kayla O'Brien. Thank you guys for joining me, and we'll see you later.